From the words of Josh Buchter, Wolf of Broad Street. What's up, man? Another shout out. On his episode with us, he said, your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, he's not the first person to say that, but he's the first person to say that to me and have it really stick with me because it plays into authenticity. It plays into like being yourself. You know, where are you going and why? All these reasons. If you're true to yourself and your vibe is evident, your tribe will be attracted to that.
Sounds good to me.
But on the same token, as much as you'll have to deal with this when you do act your authentic true self, you're going to repel people. People are not going to want to be a part of your tribe, just like Dustin Brome's episode. And that's a good thing. Because if you don't see eye to eye, or you're not like-minded, or they can't see themselves working with you for whatever you're doing, you don't want them watching your stuff or liking your stuff or calling you or emailing you because it'll probably go down the wrong road. Welcome to the podcast dedicated to real estate, insurance, and building your business. Join us as we take you along our own business building journeys with additional wisdom from our network of local and national experts. Welcome to Bricks and Risk.
This episode is brought to you by Property Management Redefined. PMR is not just managing properties, we're creating partnerships that build long-term success for property owners. John and his team can be reached at manage@gopmr.com or by phone 267-753-6005. Tim.
Yes, Sean.
Who's a good client for PMR?
Property Management Redefined is looking for property owners who value three things: accountability, reliability, and a results-driven approach. They want to maximize returns, but still provide client and tenant satisfaction.
There's a lot of property managers out there.
Yes, there are.
What does PMR do really well?
Biggest thing is they're seamless and they're worry-free. So with that approach in mind, it allows the property owner to put their trust in PMR and know that the results will be there. The other thing I think a property owner is really going to value because they do it so well is that they have a local expert team, boots on the ground, managing your properties and your tenants' expectations every day so that you feel good about your investments.
We have millions of listeners out there.
Tens of millions.
If they want more information, how do they find PMR?
Right here, guys. Reach out to John Sachs and his team at Property Management Redefined. They'll take good care of you. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bricks and Risk. I'm Timmy G.
And
is that like ASMR like introduction?
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what ASMR is?
ASMR.
That's like some weird like YouTube stuff where people like whisper and like crinkle bags and stuff.
I know what it is. I didn't know what And I'm Sean Mooney.
Hey, welcome.
Tim's co-host for the day, sitting in for Sean Mooney.
Sitting in for Sean Mooney? Nice.
Sitting in for Vic Vaughn.
Real quick. Big shout out to my boy, Mark Murphy.
Mark.
Bombardment Clothing. Down on American Street in Nar Square.
Hashtag that up to Bombardment.
For the fantastic screen printing job he did for me recently on a bunch of gear. I got some Bricks and Risk gear, I got some Tim Gary team gear, and I got some real gear.
Let's talk about, real quick, we'll keep this under a minute, I promise.
Yep.
This is not a
about clothing
advertisement for Bombardment, but great detail about making sure it comes out just right.
Okay.
Just want to say that.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, and if you look real close, it's hard to see, but he even got the shadow on the B and the R, and he got the drip on the graffiti.
He's a detail guy.
Detail.
Do you like details? Call Mark. Bombardment.
Thanks, Mark.
Hashtag.
Appreciate it, man.
Fired up.
All right, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about marketing.
Okay. What are we calling it?
We're calling this episode the Whopper Detour.
Ooh. People are probably like, what the hell? I know what a Whopper is.
Cheeseburgers.
I'm kind of familiar what a detour is.
Special sauce.
All right, so introduce this one. So this came from our nothing divided by nothing equals nothing list, which is all of the jumbled genius ideas in Mooney's head, like vomited onto a Google Doc in lots of different forms, and then I have to go in and like decipher it. And it's tough, folks, let me tell you.
It's part of the charm.
Part of the charm, part of the thrill of the chase.
We'll do a live video screen recording of the scroll so people can see.
People are like, is that English?
See what it's all about.
What the hell's going on there?
You in. We'll bring people into my mind.
Oh God, I think we'll skip that screen share.
The nothing folder. So much gold in there.
There is. All right, introduce the Whopper Detour. Why are we talking about this one?
So basically, what it revolves around is a 2018 Burger King marketing plot.
Almost like guerrilla marketing.
In a way. Maybe that's why it appeals to me.
Probably why
I don't
you love
know.
it.
Can I ask Brent?
You're gonna hammer in a BK sign on your front lawn tonight in honor of the Whopper Detour.
Halloween is coming up. Maybe I go as the king guy, the Eskin lookalike character.
I'll go as the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
Right.
This actually might go back in the folder.
Good.
Anyway, 2018, Burger King did this marketing campaign where they were basically targeting McDonald's customers.
Yeah, so they're like, hey, our biggest competitor is Mickey D's.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go for the throat.
Right.
But we're going to do it in a way that people almost have no choice. Why would they not?
Well, you always have a choice.
Of course you
always have a choice.
They knew it was an enticing enough of an offer and it was going for the jugular that it was just like a smash hit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, I'll get into some of the specifics. So some of the specifics were that Burger King was selling 1 cent Whoppers with certain conditions.
Right.
Now, I believe one condition is you had to be within 600 feet of a McDonald's. Then you had to download the Burger King app or already have it downloaded to prove geofencing wise where you were located.
To validate
that you're
across the street.
That you're about to get food from Mickey D's.
Yep.
But you got the BK app open, and if you do, they offered you a 1 cent Whopper to drive to Burger King instead and order a burger from them, which is absolute genius.
Yeah.
It's so good. This should either be in textbooks if it's not in textbooks already.
It reminds me of like when you're on a website and it's like right before you hit the X, it's like, don't leave.
Yeah.
Click the button. We'll give you 15% off.
I swear.
Don't go.
I swear you'll save $8. You're going to save $3.20.
So you're like, Big Mac? Oh, Whopper.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's like, Big Mac is probably, that's the only thing I'll really order from McDonald's. I guess I'll get a cheeseburger here and there. But if I get McDonald's, I'll pretty much only get a Big Mac.
Fun fact.
I freaking love Big Macs.
Fun fact for Mooney.
Yeah. You don't eat at McDonald's?
2 fun facts.
Okay.
I don't own a pair of jeans.
That's definitely a very fun fact. I've known that one for an extremely long period of time.
There's the Whopper Detour.
Yeah, and the thing is,
they used the McDonald's sign on it.
Oh, so good.
Oh my God.
We'll get a screenshot.
That is great.
Okay, so that's one fun fact. You don't wear jeans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's been, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 years since I had like a McDonald's or a Burger King.
Really?
Yeah.
10 or 15 years?
I couldn't even tell you.
Do you eat any other fast food? Like, do you eat like Chick-fil-A?
I eat Chick-fil-A.
With the kiddos?
Yeah.
Okay. You do anything else?
Chipotle, if that counts.
What about Wendy's?
No.
You don't go to a fast food burger joint?
Nope.
Would you go to Shake Shack?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like the fast casual.
Yeah.
You'll do fast casual.
Right.
But you won't do traditional fast food.
I don't know how those lines get drawn. I don't eat white bread. And I don't drink soda. I haven't had soda in like 10 years.
I don't drink. If I drink soda, I'll drink a diet soda here and there. But I don't eat white bread either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just rounding it out here for people so they get a little more context.
10 or 15 years.
Oh, I mean,
don't
maybe
the kids
more.
ever like ask for it?
All the time. They go all the time.
Oh, but you don't need it.
No.
Refuse.
Yeah.
Is there any particular reason why?
I just think it's bad. So I've like convinced, like white bread, it's bad.
Yeah.
So I don't do it. And then just like rolled it out.
It's on the Mooney bad list. If you land on the bad list with the genes, it's just never happening. It is just no deviation.
Gone.
Like we have to get you. Oh, well, dude, here's another fun fact number 3. 10, 15 years, I believe. But when we were in college.
Oh, yeah.
And slightly post-college.
Oh, yeah.
20 years ago, 23, 24 years ago, we used to absolutely annihilate checkers.
It was a requirement.
Late night.
It was a requirement.
You had the checkers.
Or Taco Bell if you were on that side of City Line Ave.
You had
that
the
was
checkers
24
by
hours.
St. Joe's.
No.
Oh, sorry, not by St. Joe's. Oh, the one
Checkers
on Broad.
was on Broad Street.
Broad Street.
But not the one near us because that wasn't 24 hours. You had to go down to a Temple.
Yes, that's
that
right.
That one was 24 hours.
Temple, that's what it was. It wasn't by St. Joe's, but we would be like partying at St. Joe's. Like, oh, just go.
Well, no, that was Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco Bell was by St. Joe's.
Right. We'd go to that one because that was 24 hours.
Yeah.
Another fun fact. Remember the time that I got out and I started making the burgers?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, park over there. And I was like, hey, what's up, fam? And they're like, and I was like, can I help you guys out?
You like rolled in.
Yeah.
Oh, like, how did you not get murdered that day?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Took some pretty crazy risks when we were there.
But anyway, Terry will get you the shot. Big Buford. It was two Big Bufords for $5.
Oh, the Checkers.
And the spicy fries?
Still this day, those spicy fries. I had a Checkers maybe 5+ years ago, and it was fantastic.
You should do a road show. Little on-site.
Across some Big Bufords. Would you make an exception to the deviation? Because Checkers is like a traditional fast food.
Would I eat it as a one-off? Yeah.
Okay,
but I'm not.
All right. So that's like this. That's like the fine print under the deviation of the Mooney bad list.
Yeah. Well,
fine
it's
print
like,
is if it's a Big Buford at Checkers, I'll do it.
It's like my gluten-free, right? So like,
yeah.
But once I go over the bridge in Atlantic City, Tony's Baltimore Grill, I'm not getting pizza.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. So
3 for $3. What?
Yo, we might have to go there today. 3 Big Bufords for $3.
No way. This feels like the same exact deal as 2018 Burger King.
All right, we're going too far down the rabbit hole. All right, so the 1 cent Whopper.
1 cent Whopper.
Have to have the Burger King app open. Have to be 600 feet within a McDonald's.
Yep.
And if you do it, you can go get a 1 cent Whopper.
Yep.
Because they will prove it. You go. There's something on your phone. You're good.
Yep.
It resulted in 1.5 million
oh my God.
downloads of their app in 9 days.
Holy smokes.
And back then, I feel like apps were like not as common as they are today.
No.
So you were really asking people to do something that they were like, what is this app thing? Like,
yeah,
what?
but think about it too, is if there's not a lot of apps, that penetration is even deeper.
I mean, I'm sure they said it was a 37-to-1 ROI, return on investment. This whole marketing tactic, the cost of the Whopper they were losing, 37-to-1.
I mean,
because you're going there, you're getting the 1 cent Whopper, you're like, just throw in a medium fries. Those are $2, and give me an extra large Dr. Pepper.
It's like Wawa. We'll just give you the gas. Just you're going to spend $20 inside.
You're going to come in here. You're going to take a leak. You're going to walk out with a bag of combos or a 2-liter gallon of water.
What? In marketing, you were a marketing person.
Yep.
A loss leader.
A loss leader. It's not about the 1 cent Whopper.
Right.
It's about all the other money you're going to spend.
Yep.
When you come.
Exactly.
For the 1 penny Whopper.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I love how they use the McDonald's logo just to like rub it in their face a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Very rogue.
All right, so we were talking about this particular example because what it really started to do was just, it's almost like the theme of like thinking differently with your marketing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if everyone, we just did an episode on like good advice and bad advice. If everyone's telling you to go right, there's a fork in the road. Go right. If you don't go right, your business is not going to succeed. You won't be wealthy. You won't have a career in real estate. But if you go left sometimes, that might be the greatest decision you can ever make.
Seth Godin, maybe one of the best marketers ever, is the purple cow. Like
Purple cow.
become
Go over the foundation of purple cow, because I know we've mentioned it a few times.
It's just, in marketing, you have to find a way. Like if you imagine a field of cows, right? Which one's going to stand out? Which one's going to grab your attention? If they're all brown or white and you have one purple one, that's the one you're going to lock in on.
That's a good visual.
Yeah. So how to stand out, how to be different. But there's also, too, behind this, besides the attention grabbing, it's also just from a pure marketing dollars expenditure aspect. If you look at what the cost is on the customer acquisition side.
Yep.
Of
your CAC.
Right. If you look at that, this is kind of brilliant. I mean, let's say it's $10 a person, right? To get that person to become a customer. I don't know what they spent on the app to build it out. Nothing, right?
Yep.
But the loss leader is going to bring you in, right? So that's going to be the Whopper in, and they take a loss on that. But you're going to spend more money on additional items that you might spend that day.
Yep.
So you're technically not out on that. And then you have that person on your platform, in your ecosystem, on your app.
Yeah.
So how much more inclined to, let's say a Whopper cost them $5, right?
Which it doesn't.
Right. Now they're on your app. If they have one more purchase on the app, I mean, it's a break even.
I'm going to give a really good real estate example. Okay. So in residential real estate, there's lots of agents who are big on Zillow and Realtor.com leads.
Right.
That's how they've built like massive teams. People have built brokerages on this philosophy. Go ahead, figure out where you want to help people buy and sell real estate, double down, make the investment, spend a lot of money with a Zillow or a Realtor.com, get market share of traffic coming through those sites, take the phone calls, emails, texts, and in-person appointments, and the amount of money you spend will 5x, you'll 5x or 10x with your business if you just make that investment and you just buy into that strategy.
Right.
And that's true. The problem with that strategy is the only way to follow it is to spend money. And you can't really spend a little money with that strategy, because if you just get a tiny, tiny sliver of a neighborhood, you're not going to get enough leads to really want to keep doing it. Because you just, you almost need like 50 people a month in order to walk away with like 5 appointments, and then 1 or 2 of them turns into a deal. So if you spent $5K and you made $10K, you're like, cool, I'm up 5. I just keep doing that. I'll meet more people through that lead. And that's a business model. Hey everyone, this is Tim, your favorite Bricks and Risk co-host. But don't tell Sean. I hope you're enjoying this episode, and I'll get right back to it in a moment. Our audience grows through word of mouth. So if you would please take a moment of your time and give us a review on the platform you're on, that would be fantastic. Please also help spread the B&R word by sharing your favorite episode with a friend. We greatly appreciate your time and trust. Now, back to the show. But that means you're just going right. You're going where everyone is going. If everyone's going right, you just go right. You can do it. Probably a higher rate of failure, if I had to guess, just because of the cash invested and maybe not getting into it. The left would be, I'm going to make this example, starting a podcast. But not starting a podcast and just saying, I'll start a podcast and I'll get business. No, committing to and being consistent with a podcast, and know that you still have to have money to do it. Now, again, if this is your thing, and I know it's not a lot of people's thing, but if you said these are my 2 choices, if you start the podcast, even coming to a studio where we are and spending money here and, spending money on events and, some marketing and branding and things like that, you will eventually have just as good, if not a better ROI than the Zillow strategy in terms of how much money you probably spent and what you got out of it.
So here's what I'll say to that.
Yep.
Number one, you don't have to do either or.
You don't have to do either or.
Right? Like, I could do Zillow leads and I could do a podcast. So I don't want it to be like, well,
you could do email marketing, you could do door knocking, you could do handwritten notes, you could do open houses 5 days a week. Like, you could do many things.
That's the first thing I'll say is that, and technically you should be trying different things, right?
Yep.
Because, you should be A/B testing different things. And okay, this one works and this one doesn't work.
Yep.
So now I know to put more money behind this. YouTube, another update on YouTube.
Okay. We love YouTube updates.
They allow you to like A/B test thumbnails inside of YouTube.
Oh, wow.
So you plug in 3, and they've done this for a while. You plug in 3, and then it tells you the best performing one.
Jeez.
Now what they've added in is titles.
Oh.
So you plug in a thumbnail, and you plug in 3 thumbnails, 3 titles.
Now that we started doing AI titles on our episodes.
Yeah.
Very cool. You plug in the AI title now just to get a sense?
I haven't monkeyed around with like that specifically. I've kind of more just had the AI and kind of tried to.
Like, we're using Chat GPT, just so the audience knows, for our episode titles now.
And Gemini and Claude and some others.
I figured you'd be using anywhere between 4 and 6.
Right.
Which is about standard. But yeah, the example I make is not, it's not a black and white example. But the reason I make that example is most agents in residential real estate, most people with licenses in and around Philadelphia, let's say, are not doing podcasts.
Here's the other thing I want to say on to follow on that is if you're just doing Zillow leads, it's like a faucet. You turn it on, you turn it off, you spend money. The agent, here's the other agent that I think is the winner in this. You do the Zillow leads, right? You spend money to get those people.
Which I have, personally.
Right. You spend money to make the contacts, to get the deals. But then you nurture them on the back end.
Right.
So you're doing...
You put them in your email newsletter.
Right.
You put them in your CRM.
Invite them to events. Do different things where you're turning them from a cold lead now to bringing them in as part of your community.
They're part of your ecosystem.
Yep. So I think if you're just doing it as a Zillow lead to churn and burn and get them and get the deal and be done, and now you're never going to see them or hear from them again, your customer acquisition cost is going to be much higher than you did this with this person. Now they're in your ecosystem, you're nurturing, and they give you 3 referrals, right? So there's different ways to slice this, I think, to maximize what you want.
Well, let's go back to the Burger King example and the Whopper. If they just undercut the Whopper by 50 cents, people wouldn't care.
Nope.
They're like, whatever. I'm already at McDonald's. I like Big Macs. I'm going to eat a Big Mac.
Well, also, if they give it away for a penny, they come in, they get a penny Whopper, and they're gone, and they're done.
And they're done.
Right? But by downloading the app, now they're in the ecosystem. Now you have a longer lifespan with that customer.
And again, I'll make this episode to the podcast as well. Us being almost at 100 episodes now, which is crazy. Almost everywhere I go, someone will mention it. And we've been doing this for about 2 years now. We've been recording. And that's what we wanted it to be. We wanted to get to that point where people have either seen a short, listened to it, watched it, whatever it is, because we're trying to meet more people, build more relationships, and potentially have more business for our businesses. And they're going to want to do business with us because they've gotten to know us through the podcast. So I make that example because if you just spend money on cold lead generation, no matter what you're doing, it's a race to the bottom. Someone's either going to outspend you or outwork you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you're a purple cow, there's no way people don't see that in a field of white and brown cows.
But the other point to that is that I don't know. There's just so much more to it than just the expenditure of
dollars and cents. Investing money, this is what I get back. ROI. There's more to it than numbers.
Yeah.
There's commitment. There's time. There's perception. There's maybe you have talent. Maybe you have marketing talent. Maybe you have Mooney's dress code, and you're like, yo, I'm a good dresser. I'm going to dress the way I want to dress on the show, and everyone's going to be like, yo, my boy dress is freaking amazing.
It's pretty fly.
Yeah. So I want to give one more example too. You pulled out the Nike example. Well, what was the Nike example from? It was from the Olympics, right?
So 1996.
Yeah, Atlanta. I was there, by the way.
You were?
I was at the 96 Olympics in Atlanta. Wow. Shout out to my Uncle Bill, my Aunt Terry.
Uncle Bill, Aunt Terry.
For having me down to their home right outside, in the Atlanta area. And they brought me and my cousin Keith Adams to bronze, silver, and gold medal basketball when I was 16. Nice. One of the greatest gifts of my life. Thank you very much. It was awesome.
For the record. 1996, it was a great marketing story in that Nike was kind of boxed out of the Olympics. So when you're in the Olympics, it's pay to play to be
right
in.
You got to be an official Olympic sponsor.
Right. And that was Reebok.
Right.
And so
they didn't want two of those brands. They wanted like one so they could like own all the shoe space, gear space.
So the whole Olympic Village, the Olympics, everything was plastered as Reebok. Right?
Yeah, this is such a good story.
So then Nike formulated this idea where they were like, okay, we're boxed out of this. How do we gain traction? How do we kind of shift the playing field where we can find some significant impact and awareness?
With all these millions and millions of people who are descending upon Atlanta for the 96 Olympics, there's just an amazing amount of people in a town when they host the Olympics.
Right.
And they're like, how do we get their attention?
So Nike spent all kind of money to basically take the whole entire area outside of the Olympics and put Nike everywhere. Everywhere.
It was like on the subway, everywhere. Or the train. It was on billboards. It was on buildings.
To the point, they were polling people, asking them, and people were like, oh, Nike, they're the Olympic sponsor. It just became a thing where people associated.
They just assumed.
They saw it so much that they just assumed.
They basically undermined the Olympic committee, let's call it, and said, we're not going to play by your marketing advertising rules, however much it costs to be a sponsor. We're going to do it our own way and just watch.
And
Reebok.
I think part of this story too was
Reebok.
No. But what they did was they also created a separate Olympic village.
Yeah.
Like
they made it
their
seem
own.
Like it was like a faux Olympic village, but it was all Nike.
Come over to the Nike village or whatever. And people did. And their ROI on that was kind of the same. It was like a mega marketing campaign that just went wild.
Oh my gosh, I freaking love that idea.
The cherry on top was who was it? I think it was Michael Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
The runner.
But wasn't it like the athletes were wearing Nike gear?
Some.
But they weren't supposed to.
Right.
Or maybe it wasn't in the rules yet.
I don't think it was in the rule. You could wear whatever you want, I think at the time. But then Nike said, you know what? We have the best runner in the biggest event in all of track, and we're going to give him gold sneakers.
Yep.
And he ran
smart.
And he won. And then
it's like Purple Cow.
It is Purple Cow.
How are you not going to notice? It's like everyone else has got like white or black or red, but
gold.
These are gold.
They're like gold bars. The metallic look to them. Yeah. It looked like it wasn't even like a leather material.
And this is 1996.
Yeah.
Think about that. Like there is no really an internet. There are no mobile phones. Like, there are no apps.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they just overtook the audience's eyes through guerrilla marketing, boots on the ground, and then on TV. Because you're watching this on TV, you're watching, the greatest runner in the Olympics with these like metallic gold shoes.
And then, of course,
he makes Time Magazine.
Time Magazine. But he's got the shoes next to the medals.
That's freaking...
And they're gold because the gold medal.
It's just unbelievable. It's so smart. So, all right, so let's do this.
It's a great story.
It's all great stories. The Whopper Detour, the Nike guerrilla marketing. Let's get into our 3. Of course, it's 3 tips. Why wouldn't it be? I'm part of this show.
Right.
So I figured we might as well go with 3.
Going to need a third guest soon.
3 is a good number. 2 would be too little.
3's a crowd.
And 4 would be too much.
John Ritter.
Yeah. So why was this successful? And then how can it be applied to small business? And the first example we gave, which you already, expounded upon, was thinking differently. Like, Burger King was thinking differently. They're like, look, we're getting crushed by McDonald's right now. People like the Big Mac more than the Whopper in general, toe to toe. Maybe it's a better sandwich. It doesn't matter. What they did was they outsmarted McDonald's in a way that maybe they could have copied and tried, but then it wouldn't have been as cool. And maybe they did that. I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. They basically beat them at their own game. You got the better sandwich. Maybe it's a better price. Maybe you got more locations.
Yeah, but they used the popularity of McDonald's against themselves.
It's really in the power of influence. The influence was, we're going to give you a Whopper for 1 cent, and you need this app. And we're the first people pitching the app, let's call it. We're all over this app, and the app is new, so that they're an influencer. They're creating a demand for something that didn't exist. And they did it through just, again, price and marketing. So,
and you're not only are you making money selling, getting the downloads, but I don't know if it's that's the download. You know how many Big Macs weren't sold during that time? So you're stealing a customer, punching them down,
exactly,
throwing in the app store downloads.
You're eating their lunch. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, but they did it, and it was so successful. Why? Because it was so different. It was such a different approach that they used to bring people in and kind of get a viral moment.
So I'm going to give a shout out to 2 people right now. I want to give a shout out to Dustin Brome, the Massive Agent Podcast. What's up, man?
We love Dustin.
And I want to give a shout out to a guy I've met recently who's also with Real. His name's John Campbell from the John Campbell team. What's up, dude?
John.
And the reason I'm giving shout outs to both of them is, like, when we were talking about this episode from the Nothing List, it made me think of an episode that I listened to from the Massive Agent podcast, because I listened to all Dustin's stuff. And he had John Campbell on. So John Campbell's a Pennsylvania agent.
Yep.
Got hooked up with Dustin through networking and was a guest on his podcast, because John's got a very successful team in real estate. And in the beginning of the podcast, John's talking about, he's like, look, I didn't want to cold call. I didn't want to do that. It wasn't my personality. I didn't believe in it. It doesn't matter. He didn't want to do it. So his idea, which is genius, was he's like, I'm going to go borrow people's listings for open houses. So he's new. He doesn't have any listings, but other agents do. And what he would do is say, hey, Bill, Sally, can I sit an open house at your listing? Because if I sit an open house at your listing, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 50 open house signs on the street. I'm going to be there for like 3 hours or 4 hours in an extended open house. And I'm going to bring additional attention to your listing if you allow me to do it.
What? So is this a competitor of John's?
Yeah, so let me finish. So what he did is he fed off of other people's listings. There's demand for listings every day, and he didn't have his own. But what he says, he's like, I'm going to throw an amazing open house at this listing. And instead of a typical open house, maybe you put 2 signs, 5 signs on the street that say open house this way, directional signs. He would put 50. He would go all over the neighborhood and put these open house signs everywhere. It's not even his listing. So again,
whose name's on the sign?
Burger King's not selling the Big Mac. They're selling the Whopper.
Whose name's on the sign?
Rather you just let me finish this example. It says John Campbell, open house this way. So then you turn the corner, 3 more signs. John Campbell, open house this way. You drive half a mile away from the listing. Did you know John Campbell's open house is this way? So he put out 10 times the amount of signs, and he did open houses every day. So he would just see these listings on the street, call the agent, hey, you mind if I do an open house to your listing? I'm going to give you extra attention. And I will sit there for 3-4 hours, and maybe I bring in some additional buyers. So I'm going to help sell your listing by giving it additional attention. But the trade-off is you got to let me put my 50 signs out on the street. I want to do that. I'm not going to steal your listing. I just want to bring attention to your listing. And then what would happen is because he would put so many signs on the street, he would get more open house traffic than other agents would at theirs that only put 2 to 5. He was just capturing people by sheer numbers of putting signs out. Then he would meet someone. They would say, I don't like this house. He's like, cool. How about I show you another house? And why don't we work together? So he was building his buyer pool through other people's open houses. And his secret is the 1 cent Whopper. He would put 10 times the amount of open house signs on the street. So no matter where you were within this property, all you would see were these signs ever like, who is this John Campbell guy? He is everywhere. I better call him up. He must be successful. He must be doing tons of business. He must know this neighborhood. And he literally would just build his brand, meet people. And that was what he was doing.
I have so many more questions. I think we need to have John on this.
I think
podcast.
We do. And I've talked to John, so we'll have to circle back on that. John, we want to have you on, talk about this.
He'll be like, I'm not sitting next to Mooney with his interrogation.
We'll be on for an hour with you, the amount of questions you have. So I just want to give a shout out to those 2 guys.
Well, it's a great idea. It so different. Grabs people's attention. You're actually doing a solid for the seller.
Yep. And the listing agent.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, we'll have him on.
John,
this is your calling card. You're coming on.
I'm gonna reach out.
We already had Dustin on, so that was fantastic. All right, so what's number 2 of our tips?
Attention and influence can catapult a business.
Perfect example.
There you go.
Cow, 1 cent Whopper, 50 open house signs on the street. And again, it's like, are we telling you to go out and do this? Or am I telling you to go host someone's open house at someone else's listing and come with, you'll probably need 2 cars to put 50 signs in? Am I telling you to do that? No, I'm not telling you to do that. But what I am telling you, and what you're telling people as well, is thinking differently, outsmarting people, beating people at their own game sometimes is way better than just playing the game that everyone's playing.
Be creative.
Yes.
The dividends of being creative, finding a different way to capture people's attention and really have people notice you. And when they notice you, you can build influence from that attention.
Look, if I just get a listing and I'm just going to do an open house here or there because that's part of my marketing strategy, how did you get the listing? Maybe you were paying for leads. Maybe you were sending postcards, whatever. There are traditional ways to get listings. You're paying to play. You're spending money. You get the Zillow leads. You're paying to play. It's not to say it doesn't work. Of course it works. But not everyone can either afford to pay to play, or sometimes people don't want to pay to play. They're like, how do I do it differently? Here's how you do it differently. You offer the Whopper for 1 cent, and as soon as they drive into McDonald's parking lot to get a Big Mac or a cheeseburger or fries, they turn right out, around, they drive to Burger King 5 miles away, and they get themselves a 1 cent Whopper. That's being creative.
It reminds me of a great story, Shepherd Ferry.
Don't know that one.
Really?
What's that? Is that like the boy who cried wolf, that kind of thing?
Tara, we'll have you drop in a couple pictures and things.
Okay.
Shepherd Ferry.
Shepherd Ferry. Okay. And then let's do number 3. So again, why was that successful? What is the advice we're giving to other small businesses is really in relatability and respect. So again, from the words of Josh Buchter, Wolf of Broad Street, what's up, man? Another shout out. On his episode with us, he said, your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, he's not the first person to say that, but he's the first person to say that to me and have it really stick with me because it plays into authenticity. It plays into like being yourself, you know, where are you going and why? All these reasons. If you're true to yourself and your vibe is evident, your tribe will be attracted to that. But on the same token, as much as you'll have to deal with this when you do act your authentic true self, you're going to repel people. People are not going to want to be a part of your tribe, just like Dustin Brome's episode. And that's a good thing. Because if you don't see eye to eye, or you're not like-minded, or they can't see themselves working with you for whatever you're doing, you don't want them watching your stuff or liking your stuff or calling you or emailing you because it'll probably go down the wrong road.
When you grab people's attention, it does have the relatability and the respect, but there's also something to it, much like this podcast, right? So when people see you on a podcast or people see your signs littered all over this neighborhood, behind that, behind the show, behind the signs is a perceived perception that people have about this entity, right? The show.
Like credibility.
Right. But it's even beyond that.
Okay.
It ties into relatability. It ties into, you know, they see you as an expert. Oh, John, look at John. John's signs everywhere.
That's an authority.
It's this perceived perception that he must have a thriving business. He must really know this neighborhood. He must. So not only are these creative actions just grabbing attention, but it's also catapulting him to a different level. You know, it goes back to the episode we had with Luke. And
shout out to Luke Akery. What's up, man?
And when he was talking about sending out the postcards from the fake agent.
Oh yeah, in the Florida test case case study where they were sending, like, other agents were sending postcards, but then they sent a lot more of an agent who did not even exist.
A made-up agent.
And the perception was people who lived in this community said, that's the best agent here.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a real person.
Right. So if you just, it's like John almost like took that idea and used it with the signage, but then like doubled over on the open houses.
Yep.
Which is brilliant.
Yep. Brilliant.
It just makes you become a perceived authority for this area or this space or whatever you want to call it. So it works on a lot of different levels.
Well, I'm gonna bring this home. Look, the Whopper is a great sandwich. It is. I'm sure if you ate one now and I ate one now, I know you're not doing the fast food. It's a good sandwich. You know, Nikes.
It's no Buford.
It's no Buford, but it's a good sandwich.
It's a good sandwich.
Nikes are good shoes. It's not about being the best. It's not dirt. It's a good product, you know, and John is a good agent. So it's like at the end of the day, if you can find a way to stand out, to think differently, be creative and attract people to where you are in your place of doing business, whether that's electronically or in person, they will get to know you. And then you know you have a good product. And if you have a good product, you're just going to go out there and execute. Shut this one down.
YouTube viewers, 27% of you are subscribers that are watching our content. Go right now, hit the subscribe button. Get us into your feed, get the algorithm working. You'll catch all the stuff. You'll help the show. We'll be able to put more good stuff out. Hit us on the email, bricksandbricks@gmail.com.
We need some more comments.
We do need more
comments. We haven't got comments for all. We would get reviews, but send us a comments. A couple thoughts, good or bad.
hate mail.
Please.
Apple Podcasts for reviews. Find us social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, approaching 700 in our community. We're growing there as well. We put some great stuff on the LinkedIn that's different than our other channels.
We do. That's all we have for this one, folks. Thank you for tuning in again to another episode of Bricks and Risk. See you next week. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Bricks and Risk. Our goal is that you walk away with 1 or 2 valuable nuggets, and we greatly appreciate you sharing your time with us today. You can find all BNR episodes on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcast content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.